I am here. I am here. What the heck is that one? A couple of buttons shifted on the show scenes panel. What the heck is that? Oh, that's nothing. Okay. StreamYard is the service that we use. And of course, every now and again, they do an update and a couple of buttons shift. And I just noticed now. There. Is that aimed correctly? If I wasn't constantly fucking with it, but hey. Just a minute. I am fix my microphone. Or all you're going to hear is whatever sound. Well, you'll hear all kinds of stuff, but. Come on. That's not where you go. That's not where you go. I like this microphone. Hey, Lee. I just got my Peggy bags I ordered in the mail today. Thank you. Glad you like them. This is an awesome little microphone on a not so awesome little setup. So when it decides to be a little finicky, it can just be flopping around all over the place. I think that's better. If I don't sound right, if I start sounding weird, just what the heck is shifting? There is this little messed up. There we go. There we go. There is this little messed up screw thing. Everything else just shifted again. So it's a second. It's got to go that way. That way. There we go. It's got a. I don't know if you can see it because it's so metallic, but there's this little black plastic ring underneath this metallic ball thing, and that's part of the adjustment thing. And if it shifts, you're like, oh, what's going on? It's not working. And then the minute it shifts, you got to fiddle everything because it's on like what, 3 axes, 4 axes. Anyway, hello everybody. I thought I had this sorted out, but it's also got a little black thing. And when I went to shift it, I realized the microphone was pointed in the wrong direction. Is what started this whole drama. That should be it. Okay. So how is everybody? It's been like a minute since I've been on. Orchard's fine. Let's celebrate the occasion. Look at this. Look at this. These are my old gloves. These are the old gloves. I'll just throw them. I'll throw them in the wash, and if they come clean, if they clean up a little bit, that's just fuzz. I'll throw them in the wash, and if they clean up a little bit, I'll keep them as they'll become the spare pair. And I've got some brand new, super shiny white gloves. I picked them up a couple of months ago. I always wear the gloves because they've got the sticky stuff at the fingertips. I always wear the gloves until they're a little bit less sticky because the staining, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the rubbery stuff here is like little mini erasers, right? So it's going to pick up color. Just like remember the old erasers from school? Even though whatever you're working with doesn't leach color, it would. Anyway, I figured out what I'm going to do today. I had the FAFOs, and it's like I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do because I just don't want to do anything. It's like, I don't want to do anything. But I had said before that I had an idea. I'm gonna do this idea today. I'm not gonna iron anything. But let's get that out of the way. Mouse has to stay handy in case I need it. So I'm gonna start sewing these together. All I need is, that's 42. Ooh. Oh, this will be interesting. Okay. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to make out of this yet because I am FAFOing an idea. And first part of the idea is I need to sew a bunch of these together. Second part of the idea is that I'm going to really, really randomize what I'm doing. So I actually want a thread that intentionally clashes just to make sure that there's nobody thinking I'm trying really hard. Anyway, so I'm just going to get started, and you guys can tell me all about your day. What's new and exciting out there? I haven't I haven't done one of these in a bit. There's 2 ways to do this. So I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one the way I know how and see how that goes. No, I got to go that much. That should do it. So I'm sewing these together with a, what is that? 5/8 inch seam. Oh, there, 5/8 right down there. Perfect. Sometimes these plates, they have measurement. This thing has measurements all over it, but they're so shiny because it's just nothing. It's just on metal that it's really hard to see what's what. But I just found the thing. Anyway, yep, it's FAFO day for me. Anyway, I am probably making a tote bag as my test, but I got a plan. I've got to do this first. Actually, I've got to do this first. And if I like what I end up with, then I'll decide. But I'm thinking, instead of doing a quilt, let me just get this done. Yeah, what's today? Today's Monday. What kind of a weekend did you guys have? We had a really quiet weekend. It was really quiet. I had really bad insomnia last week, so my weekend was all about sleeping and catching up on my sleep. So that was it for me. I already apologized to Robin because I was going to come on to. I was going to not come on. He did a live chat talking about. He got a copy of my deck. He did a live chat going over that, which was hilarious when I rewatched it, by the way. But my original plan was to get my ass out of bed and actually be in the chat. And I never made it because I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, deciding not to fall asleep for some god-awful reason. So I ended up missing it. Anyway. So this is sewn together. Really easy to tell. Like I said, I'm going to use intentionally clashing fabric. So this is going to be really easy. I have an idea of making a sheet using this technique. Because what I'm going to do next, I'm just finger pressing this because I don't need to try too hard. My idea, this is batik. This is batik, by the way. It doesn't have a front and it doesn't have a back. So if you are curious enough to be interested and want to see what's going on, I'm happy to slow down and shift the camera. So all I'm going to do is I've got these 2 pieces sewn together, and then I'm just going to. Let's get the camera shifted a little bit. I may have to pull. I don't want the iron out. I don't know what it is. It's like stuffy today. It's really hot. So I find that if I get the first a little bit started, I usually have a really easy time just doing it on the machine. So I've got these 2 sewn together, right? And then I'm going to turn that under, and I'm going to turn that under, and I'm going to sew them down on either side. So I just get it. I flatten it out so I can get the first little piece going. The first little bit is always the most awkward. So now I'm just, come on, you bugger. Every now and again, this machine just loves to pull in corners. But this is a FAFO project, so I'm just going to cut off the extra stuff and keep going. So what did we do this weekend? My deck is showing up in people's houses, so come on. There's ways to start this and not have to fuck around. Do you think I'm smart enough to do that? No. Anyway. Getting started at the very end. Oh, hey, Trish, what are we making? And you're not late. I just started like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, something like that. I'm checking this out right now. I'm testing this right now. So I am thinking about a summer-esque quilt. 2 things. Oh, nice, Sassy Dragon. Just yeah, on the Supportive Tarot Facebook group, lots of pictures are starting to show up. So that's like super exciting. So basically, I have already. Oops, sorry, my camera's all off in the corner here. So basically, I've already sewn these two pieces together, right? And I used a wide seam. Now I'm taking the seam, and I'm just doing it as I go because I don't really care if I'm not trying for some major effect. Basically, I realized that because batik is the same on both sides. Batik, okay, this is batik. It does. There's the front, and there's the back. They're identical. It does not have a. Do I have anything handy? Yeah, even this, right? That's the front. That's the back. You can really tell, right? So I realized, and I've got a ton of batik, that I can, if I do a French seam, which folds down, basically I'm folding it under so that there's no open seam, right? There's two ways to do this. So I'm testing either way and then I'll make a decision. But if I keep going until I have something that's about the size of a quilt. Hi, Robin. Did it flip through your... Can you explain the reference called clue by four? The term clue by four, epiphany, where you're like, yeah, I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get this. And then all of a sudden you do. So, you suddenly get the punchline of a joke. You suddenly get the punchline of a joke, or you suddenly recognize something that's going wrong that you thought was going right, which is kind of the essence of. So in the card itself is like there's an important message and you're just not paying attention. And as soon as you pay attention, it's going to hit you like an epiphany, is the more formal language version of what that is trying to say. Anyway, so basically there's two ways to do this. And I'm going to decide which one. I should have cut a smaller piece of fabric. I don't need to use the whole thing. If I like how this goes, I thought maybe it was some kind of a game. No, it's just it's a young people reference. It's what young people say these days. It's kind of funny. Like older references, I'm good with. Some of the more modern references I have to ask too. So yeah. But no, clue by four is just schmancy word for epiphany or a sudden revelation of a life lesson. Okay, the comment, get a clue, right? Well, when that clue shows up quickly. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I was just telling everybody I missed your live stream because I'm an idiot. Slept through my... Had insomnia, so I ended up sleeping through my alarm. Woke up just in time to miss it. Woke up just in time to miss it and then was still too freaking tired. It's like I'd had insomnia for like 3 days in a row by then. What I was doing is it's not a Canadian thing, is it? I don't think clue by four is a Canadian thing. I think it's just a relatively young thing. But yeah, I really love the reference because when you know what clue by four means, it's just that got it. It's because that's what I want. That's what I wanted the deck to be. Quick references that would go, oh, I get it right away. You know what I mean? I mean, you can see that once you've been through the deck, it's like, oh, this gets right to the point. Okay. I'm going to do that. Let's see if I can do this without having to cut the thread and take it off the machine. Oh, that's my problem. You know what? I got a bit of a problem. Once these have been washed enough, they shrink just a little bit. The thing here is slipping. Is like my finger is slipping around inside the glove. I might have to get that one washed first. Okay, so we're going to go straight across. Yeah, I'm just checking in. I'm using a light blue thread, which is going to intentionally clash in a lot of places. And I might just randomly switch out to other colors of thread as I go too. I haven't decided yet. Okay. So this is really simple. Anyway, I'm going for that. What I'm thinking of, and Lisa thinks that's a really great idea. You ever have that day where it's just too hot to be under a blanket, but you want to be under cover of some kind? So this would make a nice textured single layer sheeting type. It'll, once it's been washed for the first time, it'll feel like more like a sheet than anything. Not like a sheet. It still has its own texture, but so it'll be a nice light cover for those days when you want to cover up. Mind you, I can do a lot of things with this, but people buy textured blankets intentionally, so why can't this be textured? I don't think this would be a hardship. Well, I don't care if it's a hardship, right? I'm FAFOing with extra material. It's the only reference of the deck that wasn't an obvious one to me. I'm too old, I guess. I got the rabbit and hare reference, but I think most would. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? There's people that wouldn't get that reference just because it's a very, the rabbit and the hare reference is very outdated. So I'm sure there's people that are looking at that one going, I need to look this up. So, but yeah. Now I'm curious as to where the Clue by 4 reference came from, but that's okay. Okay. So this is going to be, well, okay, quilting is always a lot of sewing no matter how you do it. That's what I realized about quilting. I like quilting. I'm going to keep quilting, but one of the things that I realized about quilting is the more involved projects might require you to sew 20 pieces of fabric together to make a little 6-inch by 6-inch block, little piece like that, and then you have to sew it together. So 400 of them, well, actually, 6-inch by 6. If you're trying to make a 60-inch by 60-inch quilt and you're using 6-inch blocks, then it's going to be 10 by 10 pieces. Yeah, I live in a sheet, so it's perfect length for me. This is kind of what I was thinking of because I am one of those people. I cannot sleep without some sort of a cover over me. I cannot sleep without some sort of a cover over me. And we were talking about this because, you know, it's not like I make these. I mean, I've got the extra fabric for it. So why not try something new and see what I think? And if I don't like it, then my other idea of taking these and making grocery bags out of them, if I end up with a big enough piece like this that it's the right size for a comforter size sheet, and I end up not liking it, I can cut it up and make. Hey Sherry, I can cut it up and make a bunch of tote bags out of it. There. Okay, now this is the first one. Because I made this too big. I should have cut it in 2 pieces. So this is what the first one looks like. So you've got, now I may just intentionally not care which side is the front or the back. So it's oh no, maybe I should care because so we basically got a textured sheet. And then I put the next one and the next one and the next one onto it. But I'm still FAFOing. National stick with which one wax an aggressively clueless person. This term derives from a Western American folk saying about training a mole. First, you got to hit them with a 2x4. There, so it's American. Anyway, so that's the first one. That's the first one I did. So they're sewn together down the center, and then these are just sewn back. These are just sewn back to cover. Oh, is Moira here? Hey, Moira. So these are just sewn back to cover the seam, to cover that open, to cover that, right? To cover the edging. So that's the first one. Now this is, I'm going to cut this one. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do 2 more, but I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to do it separately. So this, oh, I don't even need to do that. This is going to be different. This is going to be a little bit different. I might as well do the whole thing. No, you know what? I should just cut a smaller piece. I really didn't need to do that one as a whole big piece. I just need a big enough. I just need a big enough piece to test. Because what I found out was, oh, thanks. Yeah, it's doing really well. I've still got a bit of discoloration near the top, in the yellows and oranges, but I can tell by looking at it that it's just dead skin that still needs to come up. I got my Sassy Dragons last week, absolutely obsessed. It's been a huge hit with some of my work friends I do readings for. Oh, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now this one here is a little bit different. And I saw this one online. So basically, you take your two pieces and you cover them over each other by about 1/4 of an inch and then sew down the middle. So that's the first step. So normally I'm sewing like this, making a seam and then rolling these back. But this one here, I think I might end up liking it more. So let's just see. We cover them over each other by a small amount. Get a couple of stitches in to get it started. I guess it doesn't need to be perfect. This is not going to be seen. This is just to get them connected together. I'm just debating on whether, and I can feel it, so I'm doing okay. Yeah. Yep, I'm going right through them. I have to go through both pieces so that they'll connect together. Oh, and I can see through there. Okay. All right, now I've never done this before, so. Oh, the Sassy decks. Okay, what's going on with the Sassy Dragon decks? It's really simple, Moira. What's going on with the Sassy Dragon decks is we're going to give it 2 to 3 weeks. So decks have started going out. Decks are starting to arrive now. We're going to wait at least 2 to 3 weeks, so probably middle of next month, to make sure that people have received their decks, that there's no problem, because making sure fulfillment is done also makes sure that anybody who has a problem has an opportunity to reach out in case we need to replace a deck or anything like that, right? So 2 to 3 weeks. Once we're sure that the majority of people have gotten their decks, then we can start putting them in the Etsy shop. So you're probably not seeing anything until, April 15th or so. The last thing we want is to put them in the Etsy shop and then find out that we have problems with some, because you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes everything's going perfectly and then you find out it's not. But the last thing we want to get, what if we have an entire box of decks that had water damage from being, don't forget they were locked up in customs for like a month. So what if a box of decks ended up getting put into a leaky warehouse? It can happen, and we just don't want that. So now this one here, I don't know what I think. I think I need to practice this one. So this one here, if I do this one, maybe I'll practice with some. It'll be on Lisa's Etsy shop, because my Etsy shop we ship from home. Her Etsy shop is shipping from a fulfillment center. So now what I'm going to do is this weird little fold where I'm going to take the top one here and the bottom one here. I'm going to fold them over each other like that. So I'm going to fold them over each other. How does that work? But I have to fold them with a big enough fold to be sure that the front piece is catching the front. This one's a nice one. I didn't have much of it, so that everything I've got is already cut up. So basically you fold them over and you go right along the edge. I have a feeling I fucked this one up already. So you fold it over, go along the edge, but you got to make sure that your bottom one is folding over enough. Yeah, I've already fucked this one up. You got to make sure your bottom piece is going over enough so that, oh no, I got it just right. Did I get it? Oh wait, I can tuck those in. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that one goes there. This one has to go over enough to make sure that it's catching, this one has to go over enough to catch this on this side. Here's the interesting thing is, okay, so they're sewn to each other here. They're sewing to each other here as well. So far, so good. I'm not concerned about sewing it. I'm concerned. I don't know if concerned is the right word. When we chat with you, we fuck up your focus. Oh, absolutely. This is why it's a FAFO day. This is why it's a FAFO day. It's totally fine. Honestly, I'd rather be chatting today than working anyways. That's why I'm working on a FAFO project. Okay, so you come up here. That part's done. Okay. So this one here is now sewn down. Here's the thing, is it's now sewn. So I've got one seam in the middle that's going to be hidden. Yeah, I love that multitasking. I've got one on the outside that's done. Now I flip it over. But I've got to sew that down too. So this is where it's going to get interesting. I can already tell. I can already see. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see the stuff that got missed, and I'm going to have to tuck that in as I go. Let's see how this goes. Because it's already sealed, I can't shift it anymore. Okay. So far, so good. But if I get it... Okay. It's pushing in. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be a way more stable seam. Do I need that back out still? I think I need it back out still. I need to make sure. Yeah, I just need to make sure that stuff is pushed in. Now, we already know that this is going to have a texture no matter what I do, right? So that's fine. It's okay if it has a texture. And once everything's washed for this first time, okay, this is easy. My tweezers are just going right in. As a matter of fact, no, it's still sticking out here a little bit. And nope, it's not sticking out there at all. Okay. Here's my thinking. If I can get it right, right. Oh, is your new prime minister a good guy? Oh, hey, Michelle. Hi, Peggy and everyone. I can't stay today, but I want to jump on quick and thank Peggy. My sassy dragons finally made it to me. So cool and cute. I am so glad you like it. That's okay. This is probably the better choice. Now, I figure when I do something for the, where's my scissors? I have like 400 pair of scissors. Do you think I can find them? Did I put them both away? Okay. When you do something for the first time, you expect things to be off. That's fine. When you do things for the first time, you expect things to be off and you expect whatever. So I figure if I can get through the first time without a whole lot of issues, then I'm probably good to go. But here's the thing. This one here doesn't have a front or a back. You can't, let me see if I can find a darker spot. So there's 2 layers of stitching, and this seam's not going to go anywhere. Are you still looking for work, Michelle? That's got to suck. Well, use my cards. Use the cards. Where should I be looking for work? Come to Canada. Come up here. I'll chain you to a sewing machine. Put you to work. No money, I'm afraid, but we will feed you once in a while. I think that's a fair deal. Okay. And it's the same width. It's wider. Huh. Okay. So this one here definitely has a front and a back. Like the 2 rows of stitching are going to be there, but this is sewn once. Yeah, your new prime minister, a good guy. Our new prime minister is apparently even worse than the one that just resigned. So I don't know. I have no idea what to say on that. So this one here, you sew it once, and then these other 2 lines of stitching are just to roll back to keep it from fraying. This is 1 line of stitching to hold it together, and then you come back 2 more times. Oh, thank you, Marion. What am I making? I think, okay, I'm faffling right now. but I just wanted to check out this technique. So this technique, the two pieces are sewn together and then they're sewn again and again because the sewing goes through both fabrics. So this is this is a seam that's never gonna pop. This is a seam that could pop. This is the same. This is identical. The seam is identical on both sides. It doesn't matter which way is the front and which way is the back. You don't have to. I don't have to pay attention to that, which, if you're working with batik, is really important because, pardon me, if you have a fabric like this with a front and a back, it's really, oh shit, I got my fabric backwards. It's really easy to tell, right? If you're working with batik, which does not have a front or a back, it's really easy to get messed up. I think I'm not going to do this technique. Okay, so anyway, what I am making basically a batik sheet. I am taking my batik and I am just FAFOing strips together. So this is going to go over here for now. I am FAFO because I need to do a bigger one now to see how that's going to go. I am putting strips together, so it's going to be like a texture. It's going to be a textured quilt. Honestly, a one-layer quilt, because with batik being the same on both sides, I don't need to do anything to it if I want it to be super light and airy and easy to use, because lots of people like to be covered up in something, and in the summertime, blankets are not fun. So that's the idea. I am using currently, I am the chic of batik. That is exactly it. That is my new role. So I'm going to work with this new technique. This new technique I've never done before. I just did it a minute ago. So this one here is go down. So this is going to have the seam. This is going to have the seam reinforced. This is going to have the seam put in. Then it's going to be reinforced literally 3 different times. The first time through is just to hold it together so you can. This is basically a basting stitch. So if I absolutely have to, I can cut sections of the basting stitch out just to be able to work with the fabric. And as such, I can't get the camera close enough. Hi, Cece. I can't get the camera close enough, but like I can do like a 1/8 inch seam. This does not have to be all that big or all that special. Anyway, so it's going to be a texture. It's going to be a quilted style textured sheet for summer. It's going to be a summer sheet, but yeah, this is letting me. I'm sewing the 2 pieces together. Then when I do my fold, I'm going to sew them together again. Then when I do my next fold, it's going to be a little bit more sewing, but I think it's going to be a lot more stable. I don't think I want to go too fast though. Anyway, but yeah, no, the political stuff up here in Canada is just fucking crazy. Trudeau is liberal, which is fine. I mean, I would prefer to vote liberal, but Justin Trudeau was such a problematic shit show that he was eventually forced to resign, and he's currently under criminal investigation for essentially money laundering, bribery, and a whole bunch of other shit. Okay. He's under a criminal investigation, which could lead to those types of charges. So, like they had an app for people traveling during COVID. They spent $600 million to develop this app that apparently never released or only released in limited ways. $600 million government contract awarded to 2 guys working out of a basement, who were chosen above other more qualified. Anyway, Trudeau's a fucking problem. Canadian politics can't be any more fucked up than American politics. I don't know. Like, I mean, the thing is that right now, Canadian politics is, regardless of what else, right now, Canadian politics is hinging a lot on who's the best guy to deal with Trump. And it is not Trudeau. Trudeau and the Liberals are not, and it's got nothing to do with whether they're liberal or conservative. That's got nothing to do with it. It's got to do with the liberals up here. Our prime minister was found guilty of, I think it was 11 different ethics violations. Our prime minister, Trudeau, was a really, really problematic guy. So then he steps down, they pick a new prime minister, because in the States you have a vice president. If the president steps down, the vice president takes over. In Canada, we don't have a vice. We don't have a vice anything. So if something happens to the prime minister, they have to call an election, which is fine. That's just the way our politics have always been. And that's fine. But the reality is that it's very likely that our next prime minister is going to be Pierre Poilievre. And he's conservative, but the conservatism, we've had gay marriage in Canada for 20 years now. We have a very generous immigration policy. And our conservatives are not interested in, we've had conservative governments. We've had gay marriage was legalized. We've had conservative governments since then. We've got a vice, all right. Yeah, things are a shit show everywhere. But the things that matter the most to me personally, our conservative government has no interest in doing anything about it. There's always going to be some shitbag. There's a shitbag right now that is like, oh, we want to repeal gay marriage and make it illegal, and the rest of the conservatives are going, it's been legal for 20 years. Go fuck yourself. We're not wasting time on that when we got bigger fucking problems. So up here in Canada, most of the issues that are still going on in the States have been sorted out years ago up here. So we don't have the same, I don't know what we want to say we do or don't have the things. I totally get the summer and winter sofa blankets. Yeah, so that's what this is going to be. I'm sorry, I got distracted with, okay, our prime minister stepped down, so the Liberal Party elected a replacement to take over his position until an election can be called. He's called an election. We're having an election in about a month. So yeah, we've got election woes happening up here. So now you guys aren't even on. You guys can't. I know you guys are like insanely interested in this. So yeah, so this just folds over, and I'm FAFOing. If I were to stop to take the time, I can stop. How is the replacement doing? He's not. They announced. Oh, okay. We have a carbon tax up here. We have a carbon tax up here, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna eliminate the carbon tax until after the election." Trying to win political points, right? Oh, we're gonna cancel the carbon tax. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And the thing is that up here in Canada, 17 cents a liter. So what's 17 times 4? That's how much a gallon. 17 times 4. 17 times 34 times 2. 68 cents a gallon on gas is our carbon tax. I think I've got the math right. It said, oh, we're eliminating the carbon tax, because we're the Liberals and we want to win the next election, right? Our gas prices went up this weekend. It's like, wait a second. You said you took away the carbon tax. So who's getting this? Where's the extra money coming from? The guy who replaced him is an even bigger problem than, well, I guess I can't say even bigger problem, but the guy that's replacing him is even less liked than Trudeau. So I think he was just he's just the stopgag while they figure out what they're going to do. So I have no idea, because they can basically, because we have no vice president, they can do. Yeah, this Canadian system is nearly identical to the UK system. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The new guy in Canada is a massively successful banker. He understands money and how to sort people out. Unfortunately, most of his investments are in American stocks. He spent apparently, and now I'm still at apparently. I haven't deep dived, but this guy has made several critical financial. He was the Minister of Finance or something here, and he's already made a bunch of critical errors, because we are in the middle of a housing crisis up here. Did I not do that far enough? Why is that not doing that? Why not? Oh, I don't think I pushed it far enough. We'll see. I might have fucked this one up. So this guy has made several critical banking errors, including stuff that was related to some of the stuff for which Justin Trudeau's under investigation. So he's got a very problematic track record, unfortunately. But the good news is, what do we have? Like 8 parties right now? No one party can do, no one party. See, the problem that the States has is the States is a 2-party system. So one party is in power and has too much power. In Canada, one party is in power, but if they fuck it up, the other parties can form a coalition and basically get rid of it. So, and I don't know if it's the same way in the States or not, but like in Canada, I can go and run for election and say, I want to run for election as a conservative. Okay, and then I get voted in as a conservative, and then 6 months later I can say, yeah, this is no longer suiting me. I'm going to become a liberal now. And it's called crossing the floor. So that happens, and it has happened, and it's caused. So if you get elected, even with the majority in Canada, if you fuck up enough, yeah, Canada and US are pretty much the same as New Zealand and Australia apparently. But yeah, like if you get elected to if you're the prime minister and you fuck up badly enough, you can find that the MPs, members of parliament, you can find MPs switching to other parties, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it, because that's their right? So that can happen. Okay, take that one off. Bring this around. What did I do? No, this is right. Oh, okay, I see what I did. All right, now start again. Do it again. Anyway, that's politics, though. I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here having a major. I'm one of those. They're all fucking corrupt. So, is any of our Sparks products being affected or limited by current politics? Tariffs on Peggy bags. Tariffs aren't happening, at least not yet. In the States especially, actually, there's some really interesting tariff stuff happening. I'm not being affected. I ended up not being affected at all, which is awesome sauce. I ended up not being affected. So where things are looking at for me is pretty good. I have a massive stash. Of fabric. Let's get that back up there. I'm just going to have the camera pointed at wherever makes the least amount of sense is where I'm going to point the camera. So I have a massive stash of fabric. I can sew for the next 2 years without having to go buy anything, which is a really fortunate position to be in. I just got to fold this under and get rid of that. Okay, I think I need this fold over to be a little bigger. I'm not quite catching the seam in the back. I don't care. This is supposed to be a FAFO project, so we'll see. Anyway, so I'm not being really affected in any major way that way. Something else that's happening, though, which if you're not American, you may not be, well, I can't say if you're not American, but if you're not impacted, you may not be looking for this information. One thing that happened years and years and years ago is that the EU, the European Union, intentionally added tariffs and taxes to their products. Now this is the fucked up part. The EU basically about what? Well, during Brexit, the EU basically did exactly what Trump's doing now, but for very similar reasons, to be honest. They wanted to protect trade in the EU, blah, 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 which is why in some European countries, if you send a product in, for every $1 the product costs, you can expect to pay up to $2 in taxes. Well, everybody's so pissed off at Trump that a lot of those deals are being reworked, and it looks like some of these these EU protectionist policies are being dropped for countries like, Canada. So we could be seeing an increase in the amount of this has always been my criticism of the Canadian government, and that is that they are not doing enough. The Canadian government got really fucked over by tariffs. I'm just going to babble. The Canadian government got really fucked over on this whole tariff issue, for good or for bad, because one of the things that we've never done is tried to build economic ties. Yeah, I didn't make this big enough. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. And I'm just going to take this piece to here. So the Canadian government has never done enough to build trade ties outside of the Canada-US trade stuff, which is why the idea of tariffs is particularly painful for us. So now it looks like we might be making trade deals with Europe and other countries, and actually finally reducing some of our reliance on trade with the US. He is the reason you have plastic banknotes. Oh, Trudeau? Canada needs a Peggy party. Oh my God, no. No. I would be so problematic. It's like, off with their heads. You annoy me. Off with your head. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if I end up with some problems initially while I get the hang of this. Anyway, the babbledy, where did I put it? I just put it over there. The babbledy part of the whole thing. Okay, and I can go to here. I don't have to waste a lot. I'll show you guys what happened. This is so this seam, I didn't give enough. I didn't fold it over enough. So this seam is just got no space. This piece here has to be folded under just enough to make that line of stitching, that's where the seam is, disappear. And I just did not give myself enough space to do it. But it's only a small part of it. So anyway, no, we are Pierre Poilievre is. I will be surprised if the Liberals win this election, because Trudeau, the Liberals have been in power in Canada for 9 years, and the hubris just got to be too much for even Liberals, especially when the Prime Minister is facing criminal investigations, because in spite of 11 different ethics violations, he still wouldn't stop doing the shit that people were calling problematic. So I got two pieces. This is something else too, is that like, I might take this piece and then use the same technique. Oh, Mark Carney, the new guy, he was governor of the Bank of Canada, then the Bank of England. He brought his plastic banknotes to both. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a problem. He's not, they're not liking him very much. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. And I might form this out into squares and then attach the squares to each other. So this will get used. I just got to start a pile over there. Another black one. I don't know why. I'm always a big fan of the darker colors. Now, do I switch colors or not? I don't think I'm going to switch colors, because if I do some of these, this is going to be two dark colors, right? If I do these two together and then put them together against two light colors, I think if I keep the intentional clashing of the thread, if the thread clashes but it looks intentional, it's a far nicer effect than the thread clashing and it looking like it's an accident. Okay. So one down the middle, one up each side. Not like that. I could have a bigger seam. I guess it doesn't matter, but I don't really want one that big. That's the problem. Wrong hand. There we go. That's the problem. You know what? I tried to stay so much one side. Yeah. So politics Canadian politics is actually pretty dull. It really is. Like I said, we've got so many parties and so many ways. I mean, I think if we've got so many parties and so many ways to minimize the damage, but unfortunately, the main damage that Trudeau did was to be corrupt as fuck when you come right down to it. So you know what I got to do? Or I can't do that on this sewing machine. I'm not having very good control of how close these are to each other. But anyway, so where the shop is concerned, things are slow right now. Because here's the thing, whenever there's election, things get slow. Whenever there's a big change in government policy, things get slow. So we went US election, tariffs, and now Canadian election. So things are really slow right now, which is fine. I also turned 60 this year. I'm not exactly like crying about it. So that part's fine. What else have we got going on there? What's the fun stuff? Like, I mean, the decks are delivering. That's the big fun stuff. Where Canadian government is concerned, it's kind of a catch-22 because I don't really want to see the Conservatives, but they do probably have the strongest ability to negotiate with the US and we have a housing crisis here right now, and they are probably the most suited to negotiating with the US on tariffs and dealing with our housing crisis. So, and the benefit to Canada, yeah, I would love to see more orders, but you know what? Like, I need to do this side. I need to flip it. That's what I need to do. Okay. So this side here, I can stay closer to the edge, right? But this side here, of course, I got crappy lighting today. This side here, I'm further away from the edge because that was underneath and I have to go by feel. So if I go from the top and do this, I will automatically, because the bottom one is wider. I think I just sorted out my shit. Because if I flip it over, the back is wider, which means that I will automatically do the wider piece that I need. Because as I'm pushing this piece over, the piece underneath automatically is slipping back in the other direction. Do you have any Peggy bags that would go well with Sassy Dragons deck? My problem with that is that I could not. We looked, and I don't really have anything that specifically targets the Sassy Dragon. I would have had it up in the shop if I could have. The only other option was to custom make a bunch of fabric, but that was just too expensive. Custom made fabric is like $40 to $50 a yard, depending on what you're getting, and no guarantees on the quality. And I don't like spoon flower fabric. I don't like its texture. I don't like the feel. So yeah, I found we didn't go crazy over it, but we did take a chance to look. But you know what I need to do one day is I need to log in with my phone. I need to set up some lights, log in with my phone, and just show you guys my stash, because my fucking God, I got some shit. Because we got the blues. Actually, you know what? Let me just think. Let me think out loud for a minute. I got my Sassy Dragons and love it. Yeah, I've been in love with this. I've been in right here. These, yeah, they've been popular. That's for sure. Okay, that was there. Okay. So I'm already, no, it's not bad. As long as I focus on keeping my lines straight-ish, I don't think I should care. I don't think I am in a position to care whether or not my lines meander. That'll come with time and practice, and this is a technique I've never used before. Because I'm getting some wider. Some areas are wider Like that here is wider and then it narrows. I don't think I care. We'll have to get bags that suit the colors. Yeah, I think that's about the only thing I can really say is to match the colors. I don't even know. You know what? We never really took a look. Mostly it's like, well, it's watercolor. So anything that matches some of the lighter watercolors. Look at me hacking up a lung. Doing it again. Need to go wider so that can be turned under. There we go. Why do I need to go that wide? What did I do? Oh, I went too narrow. That's why. I just gotta make sure that this side is wide enough so that if a piece on the back isn't quite lining up, oh, there we go. Measure it to my thumb. I think I just figured it out. I saw this one time on a short, and it just fascinated me to no end. Ooh. No, they don't have a front and back. If I threw on one of my double needles, we'll have to get bags. Yeah. That's not gonna work. That's gotta go under. Oh shit! That's not working either. Let's see what happens here. Don't put a crease in it from there. Am I pushing them in the wrong direction? I'm pushing. Jesus fuck. Let us do this. I went left to right. I think I'm pushing them in the wrong direction. I think I have to go the other direction. Let me take I've got a couple of small pieces, do I not? Small piece. Let's take a small piece. I think I know what I did wrong. I'm going in the wrong fucking direction. I fucked that up. I can blame you guys, though, for distracting me, so it's fine. I feel okay now. Okay. Do that. I have been turning this in the wrong direction. I'm pretty sure of it. Let me just double check. A lot of just sewing today. Okay. That goes that way. Because I have been, okay, that one points this way, right? But I have been flipping it over and still pointing it that way, and it's got to point that way. So let's just leave this upside right. Do that. Yeah, I figured out my mistake, guys. I think. I don't know. And I'm not, you know what? That's the benefit of maybe I just need to do these. I think I need to do smaller pieces to start, just to get the practice out of the way. I think maybe yeah, this one just slipped right to where I need it. And that is pointing. Well, if I do it too narrow. Yeah, I'm going to do these. I'm going to start cutting smaller pieces. I'm cutting smaller. I'm going to cut smaller pieces because I think that's where I'm fucking up. I'm just trying to do too much at once. Quilting by default comes with a certain amount of waste anyway. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for taking the blame, Trisha. I really appreciate that. Never hold me responsible for my shit. I don't like it. There we go. What else is new and exciting? Lisa made some changes to her channel, to her membership. But I'm sure anybody who's in the membership already knows about it. So there's that. We've been playing way too much Diablo. Okay, so let's do that. Why is that? Well, that's not the one. That's the... That one, that was when I fucked up. That's not... Where do... I put them over here. Pups are really good. Oh my God, poor Shayla. She had a UTI. That was not a happy puppy that day. We got her ready to go outside. Okay, this isn't bad. This isn't horrible. Yeah. Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, I got to work with smaller pieces because these are not nearly as straight of a line as I want. I got to do them. Shayla got a UTI, but she's fine. She was uncomfortable and she was uncomfortable and not happy about it. We get her ready to go out for a walk. No big deal, right? And we get down to the hall to the elevator and she squats and pees. And that is not something that she does. And we're like, oh my God, she just peed in the hallway, right? So then we're like, okay, maybe. And now it's not a habit that she's had, but both dogs have had accidents. Like, okay, did we skip a pee? Did she drink a whole bunch of water and we didn't know it? Whatever. So we're like, okay, we got to keep an eye on her. Get up the next morning, walk her down the hall. She pees on the carpet just before the end of the hall. Now, luckily, we went and cleaned it up. We didn't turn it into anybody's problem. And it's like, shit. And so that's how our Sunday went, was taking her out every hour on the hour. But the good news, well, okay, good news for her, but because Bruno's a diabetic and diabetic dogs can be prone to, diabetic dogs can very easily be prone to UTIs. So we have UTI test strips here. So we were able to call the vet, say, yep, she just tested positive. She's having accidents today and she just tested positive for UTIs. So we basically just went out, got her the meds and came home. We still had to pay for it, which was fun. But yeah, so she was not happy. We started out the meds that they had. Okay, so now we go all the way over and make it wider than I think I need. Yes, wider than I think I need. Get it started down this side. So yeah, so she had it, but the good thing is, okay, a stop dose for a UTI is a really amazing thing, and I only found out about it because I got a UTI when I was pregnant with John. But where they basically give you a shit ton of antibiotics all in one dose, so that it's basically an antibiotic wash for your urinary system. Got her started because the way the medication came, they had to give us extra anyway. I was like, okay, let's give her a stop dose, see what happens, right? So she got a little bit of immediate relief and has been on antibiotics for the week. But other than that, I'm just over explaining this UTI because my fucking God, it is one thing when you're in the bathroom every 5 minutes, but your dog can't tell you, hey, this is not comfortable for me. Yeah, smaller pieces at least until I get the hang of it, because that was a lot easier. Okay, there we go. So we've got the blue thread. You can really see it on the black, keeping it consistent. Got some texture. Got some texture right there. Yeah, Bruno's doing really good. He's there we go. Let's do that. So let's see what we got. So there's 2.5-inch strips. 2.5-inch strips should make a 2-inch, and it made a 1. Yeah, it's going to use a lot of fat. It's going to use more. But I'm not using this shit at all right now. I'm really not. I'm doing grocery bags, and that's about it. So line it up straight-ish and not worry too much. Go all the way to the end. I don't mind if there's some there. I'm just going to pitch it. I don't mind if there's going to be some waste because. Okay, let's just do that. Let's do a 4-inch piece and a 4-inch piece. How wide is this? It's 6.5 inches. It's not bad. Oh, bye, Cece. Have a good one. Okay. I'm going to do 4 inches and 4 inches just because I want to be sure. So instead of doing that, I'm going to do that and put it together. See how this works, right? Anyway, so yeah, Diablo has been fun. We made it to Torment 3. John, we got it. We bought it. We bought a copy for our son John for Let's gotta go over top the tiniest bit. This might be a bigger seam. I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's see. So far, so good. I'm not going to expect, I'm going to do this no expectations and see what happens. The slightly louder thunking you're hearing is is where it's going over, where the heavier seams are. Okay. The bottom didn't catch, but I don't think it's going to matter. Because, hopefully, cross your fingers, people. Now I better go back and make sure it catches at least near the end. Because it's twisting a little bit. I don't want it to twist. This is literally just a basting stitch to hold it in place while I do the schmancy fold. I wonder. There is one more trick to try. There is one more trick. Okay. So fold it in half, a little more than what it needs. Go down. Wait. What are we going to have here? Looks like it's going to be fine. Okay. Well, it's going up and over the seams all right. I have one more trick to try, but I don't know if I want to do it. One more trick. One more trick to try that could solve some of these lining up problems. Well, it's not really a trick. Flip it over. Everything's in place. Yeah, I'm going to stick with smaller pieces, at least for now. Man, my lines are not very straight. There we go. So now we got text. We got text here. It'll soften up once it's washed. Anyway, yeah, playing Diablo has been like fun. So how wide is it? We had 2 4-inch pieces, and now it's 6 3/4. It's not bad. It's not horrible, but it's not great. One other option, which I just realized I could play with. A smaller piece again. I think I would want to do this with an iron though. Let me go get the ironing board, kids. I'm really hoping to avoid ironing, but let's see. Hi, Shelby. I usually stay over there and do my ironing, but I've been lazy these days. There we go. Tied up on it. I have like a massive indoor-outdoor. Oh, you know what? If I want to be able to Diablo, I prefer Diablo. Diablo is just a lot more relaxing. I played Diablo. I really enjoyed Diablo, but once I got through it the first time, I'm just going to put my board up here, but I still need somewhere for my iron to live, so it's going to go over here. If I do this right, then I can take and fold in a little seam. I'm going to try it. Fold in a little seam if I'm going to work with smaller pieces, I can fold in a little seam. Iron in a little seam, and then iron in the next little seam, throw a couple of pins in, and just do it. I think I need to focus on, this is how I learn things. This is how I learn a new thing, because I'm not sitting in a classroom somewhere where I've got somebody walking me through it. I find some shit on the internet and I go, let's try this shit. La la la, this should be hot enough now. Be hot enough. By the way, if for any reason you decide that you want to go out and buy some batik and try something like this, just keep in mind that most batiks are made with a wax process. Let's just bring that over here. Most batiks are made with a wax process, and part of that wax process means that when you're ironing it and stuff, nothing bad is happening, but it can almost smell like a melted crayon. And if it smells like a melted crayon, that's what it's supposed to smell like. Okay, let's just put a little crease in there. Try and keep it relatively even. Of course, I'm not gonna, because I never do. I hate ironing. It's too hot. Ironing is super hot. So I put a crease there. Let us double check. That one doesn't look as straight as that one. Oh, because the fabric is not as straight. So put a crease in there. Let us see. I don't know that I would want to do this for an entire blanket. Okay, blanket size, right? Okay, put that there. Make a slight, lift it up just ever so slightly. Yeah, okay. Okay. Fine. There they are. I'm looking in the thing for my. Yeah, I like Diablo because it's such a shoot 'em up that you can just really take your time. Come on, you. Do I even need a pin? God, putting the pins in is pushing it out of where you know what? Screw this shit. Let's see if I can do this without pinning, because it's not wanting to play nice with me anyway. It's trying to move and shift. I'm trying to put the pin in, and it's just like, yeah, it's already in. It's already in properly. I'm just locking. I'm not locking, but I'm just pushing the two together. Come on, why did you shift when nothing else did? Jesus, get in there. Get in there, get in there, get in there. Okay, because if I'm gonna iron this, I better get a speed benefit. So that's why I'm going fast for right now. I thought so. You get over there. I don't think I care. Okay, that one shifted at the one end, but okay, so this is probably the best one. Ugh. I don't want to have to iron. Okay. And we're going to go over here. We're just going to cut it in half. Okay, I'm not going to cut it in half. I might be back to test other things later. I'll take that piece off because I know it's wrong. Okay. Yeah, I like Baldur's Gate. I got up to Baldur's Gate. If for anybody who's not playing Baldur's Gate, not Baldur's Gate, for anybody who's not playing Diablo, Diablo is a shoot 'em up type video game, and it's just fucking crazy is what it is. So now we go and fold in the same seam here. Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. I can do them narrower too. So I can be a little bit more picky. 1. Yeah, a slight crayon smell when you're working with batik is like to be expected. So oh, Diablo 4. Yeah, we went ahead and bought that for ourselves as a little present. We started with Diablo, and then we upgraded to Vessel. Yeah, there's Diablo, and then there's Diablo Vessel of Hatred. Just like any of the video games, when they update to a new game, they give it a name change. But I haven't looked up much about it actually. We're still just kind of fafoing our way through it because that's like part of the fun for us. So that's working out really well. Yeah, you just kind of clip them together. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but you just kind of clip them together and make sure they're not going to go anywhere. That's the problem. They are going somewhere because I'm not pinning them. But I really, like I said, if I'm going to do something... This is not going to be conducive to a non-FAFO technique, though. Oh, no, I got to flip it over. I'm gonna have to do some checking online. I do like though how this is a much more stable way of stitching it. So there I've got a piece there. I got a piece there. Ooh, my corner is actually lined up pretty decently. Here's the other big piece that I just had. Is that here? Is that it there? Is that it there? Okay, so then I can add it to that. You guys can't see again, of course. I can add that to that. I can add that to that. I can't add it there, so I'm gonna add that to that. We'll see what this turns into. I gotta iron this one anyway because it looks a little bit. That'll be the nice thing of having it one-sided though. If it's a little bit wrinkly or whatever, it won't really matter. I don't think. Oh, now here's where I'm gonna have a problem though. This gets pretty narrow. Oh no, that gets narrow too. Wait, that goes. Oh, that can go there too. Anyway, I don't think I like the idea. I don't think I like the. I'm already sweating buckets over here. I'm already sweating buckets. I don't think I like the idea of. I don't think I like the idea of using that idea. I don't think I like the idea of the idea. I need it to be a lot more. I need it to be a lot more FAFO. It's. This corner gets so hot that it's a problem. I dropped something. This corner gets so insanely hot that it's not going to be okay to try and do an entire project. When I'm doing quilting stuff, I'll be off to the side. So just straighten that one up a little bit. I'll stick it on that side and then straighten. That's a nice thing too, because it's all because batik doesn't have a front or a back. I can when you're doing quilting, you're like going, okay, do I like that or do I like that? And with this, you can go, or do I like that, or do I like that? So with batik, you get to really it increases your options. I'll take that. I'm going to do the other side that I didn't trim. So I'm going to come back and trim that. Yeah, I definitely need to stick with FAFOing. Now the good news is I have bigger pieces. I've got bigger pieces of this stuff. So let's just see how. Let's see. I'm just gonna stick with the thing. You are cooling off, are you not? Yeah, I turned it off. It's just still cooling off. I have got to have. I must have something that I can use to help line the fabric up. So yeah, and then I did it wrong anyway. Oh well, not the end of the day. I was going to flip it in the other angle. It's okay if two pieces that are similar go together. So what else is new with you guys? Like, I mean, I'm honestly, I have been playing so much Diablo that I'm kind of struggling to think of something that's not talking about a fucking video game, which would be awesome. Sorry, I don't want to say I don't want to talk about video games, but that's about the only interesting new thing I've done. You know, in like because I'm not doing nearly as much sewing right now because I'm just kind of waiting out I'm waiting out politics. I'm waiting out the political shit. Wait a second. No. Make sure I do it right. If I start from the center and go out. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with a FAFO routine. I can still fold these down by hand and still come back and pin them if that's what I really want to do. But I think I'm going to stick with FAFOing because ironing, I'm already regretting even having turned it on. And we're still in we're still like, I mean, I'm still wearing a winter coat and I take the dogs out, but it's just the way, yeah, it gets so stuffy and hot in here. Well, sticking just a little bit. Little tiny bit of pressure and let it pull forward until it's ready to let go. A little bit of accidental reinforcing stitches won't hurt anything. Yeah, so the Diablo 4 is kind of neat. They introduced what's called Spiritborn, and they are fast. They are fast. They're really strong. I made a character that's called a necromancer. A necromancer is really cool because a necromancer relies on, depending on how you set it up, rely on summons. So I've got my character, and then my character calls up 15. Well, if you're using the regular game, you've heard of the necromancer, right? I now have boosts and buffs where I have double, because you start with 5, because you call up the undead. You're a necromancer, right? So for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, and if you have questions or if you want to change the subject, that's fine too. So my necromancer can call up without any buffs, can call up 5 skeletons and 3 skeleton warriors and skeleton mages. So that's a total of 8. I call up 16. I call up 8 skeleton warriors and 14. I'm sorry, and 8 skeleton warriors and 6 mages. Those are the buffs that I've managed to pick up. Okay, so if you have this, and this just keeps going until it's the size of a sheet, and then you know what? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to square this off ever so slightly. Here's the next part of the test. I'm going to do this no matter what. I really am. I'm going to do this no matter what. I've also got a bunch of batik back quarters that I can use. So I don't have to commit to the smaller pieces if I don't want to. So did I cut that correctly? Yes, I did. So I am going to, so this is it squared off. What I want now, my next step, before I go crazy and make this giganto, I need to confirm that once it's been washed and dried, that it's going to be an enjoyable texture and not some stiff, weird piece of shit. So I am just going to fold over my seam. I'm just going to do my seam. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to start. Oh no, I'm going to start right here. I was going to say I'm not going to. So basically, this is the binding, right? This is the binding step. There's no reason why it can't be self-binding. You don't have to add binding to something like this. Maybe I should, though. It's pretty stiff. Well, we're going to find out. But I don't think I can do this without I don't think I'm going to be able to do this without Oh, I'm boring. I stick to paladin classes. Yeah, honestly, I started off with a barbarian, which that was fun. I started off with a barbarian, and that was a lot of fun. Basically, what happened is I buggered my shoulder. This is the long version of the story. I buggered up my shoulder just enough that I buggered up my shoulder just enough. This is a little thick, so I'm going to go in carefully. And I like to start a little bit before the corner, back up to the corner. Of course, if it could move, it doesn't want to move. I like to start a little bit before the corner and then go back to the corner, because then it's a it's a quirk of this machine, but I get a much more stable corner if I do it that way first. Yep, something just shifted. Let's trim that out and start over. Batik, there's like a lot of layers of batik in this corner, so 1, 2. Hey, my zipper came down too, and that's just fun. I hate jeans that can't stay done up. Fortunately, it's a nice dark little corner down there. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. So anyway, I buggered up my shoulder a little bit. Not in any serious way that matters, but sitting there with the... I was playing the barbarian. Everything was fine. I did something. I don't fucking know. And my shoulder was hurting. And it's like, shit, I can't really... Because you're sitting there like this. You're... Or Amazon or 1 and 2. Yeah. I should think about something like that. So anyway, so basically you're using your computer and you're playing with your guy, right? And my shoulder was sore, and the only position that felt better was to have my arm like this. Well, you can't play a video game one-handed unless you're a necromancer. So I basically said, you know what? Buggered my shoulder, can't really play right now. So let's just... for some reason, I never looked up a bunch of shit, but for some reason I already knew about the necromancer class, right? So it's like, I'm going to do a necromancer. I'm just going to do this corner manually because something doesn't want to cooperate. Fucker. Basically, batik is kind of a little bit like sheeting, which is fine. But once you've folded it over enough times, it gets really thick and doesn't have a lot of give the way regular quilting cotton does. So it can be a pain in the ass when your pieces are a little too thick. Yeah, it doesn't want to pull forward right now. The needle's going in fine though. There we go. I think I'm past it. Is it going forward? Why are you not going forward? Okay, well, the feed dogs are still working, so it's just being stubborn. There we go. Let's try. There we go. Now it's moving. Okay. Yeah, it's a little thick at the edges. Maybe I will do some sort of a binding, put something different on it just for funsies and not worry too much. Anyway, so I realized that there was a class that lets you use these summons, right? So I switched over to my necromancer class because when I'm playing, I just kind of run up to something and all my minions come running forward. So it's like, la, 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 here comes this necromancer, then blah, here comes this giant mob. So I got into the necromancer then, because then I could play most of the time and still be able to, most of the time while I was playing, I could still conveniently rest my arm. So it turned out to be a really good idea. It turned out to be a really good idea for video gaming. Really good. It was awesome for my necromancer, but necromancer is fun because you can kind of, in a video game, if you ever hear a video game being referred to as face rolling, basically what that means, face rolling in a video game means that the game is so easy to play and win that you can just go and roll your face on the keyboard and still win. That's what face rolling is. And yeah, my necromancer is very face rolly, so I like him. I likes him a lot. I don't know what I did here, but I've got a very narrow. There we go. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a Spiritborn next. I think they're actually a little bit better. I read a thing that said the Necromancer was supposed to be one of the best characters to use, but I think that was back before the Spiritborn stuff came out. So I am just awkwardly and inconveniently putting a, I'm just folding it over all the way around and do the same thing here so it doesn't do the same thing again. Let's try again. Oh, this one's moving fine, so we're good. Anyway, yeah, I keep saying I want to do it. I don't know how. I don't know how to stream those kind of games, and I don't want to switch. I don't want to switch over to Twitch or whatever just to be able to play a video game that I'm already playing anyway. So the test that's going to happen here is I'm still gonna okay. I'm still making more of these. I'm still definitely making more of these. I'm going to test this. I'm testing this because I want to see how it feels once it's done. Because if I don't like the feel, then I won't be working with stuff that's this small. I stuck with characters that use magic, end up using it all up, and then get stuck being not. Yeah. That's kind of what I was doing too. That's really easy. Like, I mean, video games are very different than what we used to get when we were kids, right? What did I try? I tried Sorcerer. I didn't like it. But there is a Sorcerer build. Diablo as a video game is actually really easy to play. It really is. I mean, if you want to play a shoot 'em up and you do not want to have to try too hard, Diablo is definitely massive mobs and monsters. After the first few levels, you start getting bonus stuff, you spend a lot of time tweaking your statistics and your equipment and all this stuff. And as you get better, as you encounter or buy or trade for better equipment, it just gets easier and easier. I find it's a nice little wind down at the end of the day. Anyway, yeah, this should be bigger. I should have a wider hem here, but I want to maximize the amount of stuff. So I'm being. Are you going to go forward now? Oh, you did it? You did it? Can you go forward? Oh my God, you did it. Good little machine. Every machine has its things. Every machine has its, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I've got two of the, not this one. I've got two of the Singer machines. They're identical from when I had Rose. And the one is frustrating and is, oh, this one's really good for this, but it's bad for this. They're both different. Anyway, let me see what I got going on. Okay, this is fine. Get going. Get through there. Okay. So this piece, of course, I never trimmed all my loose threads. This piece is going to go in the wash. Oh, there's something else I want to do too. This piece is going in the wash, and I'm going to test what it feels like when it's been, because I'll tell you right now, batik feels very, when it's fresh and when it's brand new and hasn't had its first wash, it feels very different. It's a lot softer, a lot more sheet-like. After the second one, what was I going to do here? I'll put that one over there for now. But I've got a shit ton. I've got a shit ton of this stuff. I cut it all up because these were odds and ends. There's a little bit of it that came from other stuff, but like I have one that's similar to this, but it's a slightly different colorway, so I can't really use this one here because before I showed you those bolts that I've got, but before I got those bolts, there was stuff that I bought in like 1 yard packets. So, or had given to me with other stuff. Like you go in and you go, oh, buy 1 yard, spend $100 and get 1 free yard of batik, right? Or stuff like that. Whenever they had little fun, funky sales going on. So, I ended up with extra stuff, but I'm definitely going to make a few of these. And now I have to decide. Okay, here's my dilemma. This one here uses this one that I'm much better at. I am much better at this one. But I think I think this one here, because of the way everything's sewn in, would be way more sturdy. And it doesn't be a much sturdier bag. But I can also, you guys need to help me vote here. I can also take this and make it, you know how I was making strap handles, right? You know how I was making this, right? So if I make a bunch of this, and I don't have to care what it looks like, let's get a handful of this out. If I make a bunch of this, let's clear some space. I don't want to manhandle. I don't want to manhandle this too much, or it's going to start fraying, and I don't want it to fray. But if I start taking 42-inch pieces, because that's what these are going to be, go like this, da 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 da, dup dup, like that, right? Dup dup dup, and I start sewing them together. And maybe I don't know how big of gaps I would leave. Sew them all together, leaving gaps, okay? Because this is way sturdier than a flat piece, right? Then I have heavy duty bags for really heavy duty shit. And it might be a really good way. And I go to there, then I go to there, and then I save one. I save one that I've done. I save one big one, right? And then I weave that through the center and turn it into the handles. And the handles can come all the way around and back up again. And then all I've got to do is pin it, right? As much as clip it. I can clip it. So I come through, throw in clips, right? And then I just sew this way, weave it as I go, or do it any way I want to do it. And then I end up with a big, heavy bag. And I'm debating what else I can do. This is a fun thing that I could do too. I don't know if I would do it FAFO style or not. Let's see what happens. Let's just fuck with some shit for a while. Get that all the way in there. I've done a few of these over time. Do that. Okay. Do that. Get this down this way a little bit. Do. Yeah, Diablo is the easy. Now the thing is, Diablo's kind of pricey. It's about $100. Okay, to get the full game with, then there's a bunch of perks that you could start with. To get the full game and start with some perks, it's about $150. You can start with the base game for about $50. The bad thing is that I'm always whiny about the cost of video games. I do wish that they were less expensive, but the good news about Diablo is once you pay for it, there are things that you can pay for if that's what you want to do, but there's nothing that you are required to pay. There's nothing that you're required to pay for. You can maintain the base game forever and ever and not worry about life. How big is that? That is 4x4. Let's get one more in there. Do I have another one over here that's different? Do I have a different one over here? I don't have any different ones over here. Oh, yes, I do. Is it big enough? Oh, there's a big one. That's a big one. Okay, let's get that. That. Okay. That. This is something I wanted to try. I'm not worried about any of that shit. I can pull that one back a little bit and pull that one back a little bit. Okay. We don't care if this is a FAFO. This is something I need for me. Okay, get that up there. Get that up there. The best way, the most not convenient, but I guess convenient. The easiest way to do this is on a if you put it on something that's fabric, then you can shove your pins right into it and get it into place. Put a clip. What do I want to do? Okay, I want to go put a clip. Where's my clips? There's my clips. Okay. Okay, get it in there. Basically, I'm just tightening this up as much as I can, as reasonably as I can. I don't mind if it's got a bit of an angle to it. And I'm not trying too hard because I just want to see how this looks when it's done. I'm getting my corners sorted out for a reason. There's a reason. So these are those leftover straps that I remember I've done more than one video. I was like, hi guys, I'm working on straps today. So that's these. Okay. So we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, do I have enough that way? I'm going to cut that off. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need one more at this end. I do. Now pull that up a little higher. Pull that up a little higher. Pin that down. I did one of these. I don't know where Lisa has it. I'll show you what I'm making. I need one for me. So I'll show you what I'm doing. Is this a quick little coaster? Of course it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. It is not here. I do not have it handy, so I cannot show it. Basically, this is just the top of a coaster. This is all I'm doing. I'm just putting it in. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. Usually what you would do is you would take your. I'm just going to take a piece from over here because it's smaller and easier to screw. Okay, I guess they're not smaller. Oh my God, I have nothing small enough. Usually what you would do is just take a piece of fabric and either sew it together and flip it, or you would, oh, you just ordered it. Well, thank you. Okay. Well, don't judge the stuff in the shop by this FAFO exercise because I'm just screwing around. So basically, you can also just fold it and flip it and leave it like that and iron it in place and get it to the size that you want, or you can make. So basically, I'm just using those leftover pieces because I need a new coaster, and I need a new coaster, and I'm just FAFOing today, so I might as well FAFO that coaster that I've been needing. It doesn't matter. It does not really matter if this is perfect or not. Maybe I should just do the blue again. Nah, I don't want to do the blue. Let's do the black. Let's put a piece of black at the edge. Okay. So now it's just weaving, just the same shit you did in school. Remember when you were in school and they're like, we're gonna weave, and you thought you were the world's best weaver? We're doing that. That is about the quality of, that is about the level of skill that you're bringing into your weaving ability. You can really up this game too. You can really up this game. I was gonna go get the one I made for Lisa. Come on, what's going on? You can't be there. That's gonna come out. Come on. What are you hooked onto? Oh, because you're hooked onto that one, and that doesn't matter. There we go. Now we can get rid of that. Okay. Over, under. Any strips of fabric that you have where you do any strips of fabric that you have that have been prepared in such a way that there are no any strips of fabric that you have prepared in such a way so that there are no seams that are going to pop out when you try to wash it. That's the thing. That's the rule. No seams. That's all. That's the only rule you're following today. Okay. That goes there. That goes there. The blue has to come out. Well, the blue doesn't have to come out, but my bobbin's empty. So what do we got? We're going to take the blue out. I'm going to take the blue out. I'm not switching to black. Actually, it doesn't matter it does not matter what I switch to right now. It does not matter what I switch to right this second. What are we finishing it with? Probably black. Okay. Cut this one off. Throw that back in the bucket. Chuck it in the bucket. There we go. We're going to chuck that over there. Yeah, so anyway, Diablo, I'm really enjoying Diablo. It's one of those games. It's one of those things when it comes to video games for me, it's like, well, you got to see it, right? But it is a cool game. I am really enjoying it. Okay, that goes over there and that goes. This is the problem. This is the problem with doing this weaving stuff is that things shift. I don't care what I grab. I want to grab something that's not going to fly away. That's okay. We'll do black. We're going to do black because it doesn't matter. You're going to see. You're going to see in a second. Get rid of that. Come on, all the way up. This is why as you're seeing from the amount of time it's taken me just to do one. This is why I don't do these coasters for the shop. But they are awesome. Maybe I should do some for the shop. I mean, the thing is, okay, I need to explain this correctly, but I'm not doing much. I'm not doing as much for the shop right now. I've still got plenty of stuff in there and I'm still good to go. Life is good here. But I'm not prioritizing the shop right now because I still have. Well, that's my iron. That beeping is my iron timing out. If it's plugged in and I haven't used it, regardless of whether it is, regardless of whether it's turned on or not, it will warn me and go into a default standby mode. There, I just unplugged it. Will warn me and go into a default standby mode if I am if it doesn't detect a certain amount of activity. Okay, so we're going to trim that piece off so that it's not getting in my way. That can still go over there. I might find something for it. Okay. I don't necessarily need a coaster to need a coaster, but I've been needing a coaster. Okay, so now what do I want to do here? I need to make it a certain size. Now that it's woven in. Now that it's woven in, all I'm sewing is the outside. I'm going to do it in. I am just going. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see which is my outermost. I can see which is my outermost piece on each side. So we're just going to go. All I'm doing is trying to line up the thread with the seam of the previous one. Darn it. Doesn't matter what I do at this point. As long as I can see this. As long as I can see this thread and everything stays as straight as possible. That's going to be tucked in. That's tucking in. Okay. And as long as everything goes over the edge is enough. This is the part about sewing. There's a bit of a trust fall thing that happens with sewing because it's like, well, this still looks fucking weird. What are you doing, right? And then you're like, well, just a minute. Make sure nothing's overlapping. Make sure nothing's overlapping. Make sure you don't have any huge gaps. It's okay if there's a bit of gaps. It's not going to be the end of your world if there's a bit of a gap. Okay. Done, done, done. And a back stitch. Okay. That's done. Back over here. Back over here to stare at some shit. I said this was a FAFO day, so now I'm lining up. Okay. Now I'm going to line up right here. Right at the edge of the outermost strip. Obviously, you don't want to cut in. I don't want to cut into that edge. I don't want to cut into that edge. So I need to be just a teeny, like about 1/8 of an inch off and away. And then go around and do the thing. And you can actually, well, if you have everything clipped together in any other way that makes sense to you, there's plenty of ways to avoid giving a shit about how that's going to go. I never measured it, and I never measured it, and I know that these are not uniform. I know some of them are a little wider than others. 5 inches by, I think it's a 6 inch, 4.5 inches, 4 3/4. That's fine. I don't have to care, and I'm not going to. Okay. And if I decide I care, I can just do something about it later. Okay. Now, I got that. Where's some black? I know I've got some black. Why, that's pure black. I'm going to use, I don't very often have solid black, and I picked up some a while ago. This is the absolute last of the solid black. What the hell? That's a huge piece of black. Okay. Solid black. Do. Do I have a small piece? Of course not. Do I have a small piece, but I have massive, large pieces? Where's my smaller pieces? Oh, there's one. Okay. Now I've got to remember the order. I've got to remember the order of this, because if I do it wrong, okay, I want it to look like this. I want it to be like that when it's done. So that needs to be like that. There we go. Is that right? I don't know why I'm having the world's biggest brain cramp right now, but I am. Okay. You can do it with just the 2 layers if that's what you want. That doesn't go there. I'm reaching for the freaking garbage. If you want it to feel more absorbent, this is actually diaper flannel, so I can definitely get away with that. Doesn't really matter. There's no front and no back. So you go like that, and you go like that, right? Because then when you flip it, you're going to leave a hole. When you flip it, you're going to flip everything, and that's going to put these two like that. This is interesting because this doesn't have a front or a back, and this doesn't have a front or a back. But it's got to go. It's got to go in that order. In that order. God, why am I doing? This is not the first time I've struggled with this when I shouldn't be struggling at all. So that goes like that. Okay. But what we're going to do, I can just go like that. I want to do the flip method because I don't want to have to box it. No, I'm going to do it the other way. Because you know why? I am literally having, you ever do that? It's like, I swear to God, ever since menopause, it's like, oh no, you're old now. You gotta forget basic shit. You gotta forget basic shit. This is just how your world is gonna work now. So we're just gonna do it the old way. We're gonna do it the old way. So that goes like that. That goes like, because basically what I was gonna do is I was gonna do a round one and just flip it, and it's like, no, no. Okay. So this is easy. This is the thing. This is a distinct problem that happens to everybody, not just me. If you do the same thing the same way forever and ever and ever, which I do with when I'm quilting and making tarot mats, if you do the same thing forever and ever and ever and never do it a different way, then the minute you have to do it a different way, even if it's relatively easy, which this is, you're like going, oh, wait a second. How do I do that again? What do I do? What do I do? How do I do this? What's going on? Is that not straight? That's not straight. So we're going to straighten that up. We're going to straighten that up. Some of the stitching got sacrificed, but that's okay because I'm not going crazy. That one's fine. I just realized there was a bit of an angle that got into here. Now, I literally am going to have to remind myself how that works. Okay, so now this one here is going to go, let's see if I have 1.5 inches. I've got 1 inch. So this one here, I'm lining it up with this and going 1 inch all the way around. If I didn't cut enough, I can come back and do some later. Doesn't really matter where I line it up, but I try to line it up on I line it up on where the outer edge ends up. That's what's there. There we go. How long have you been sewing? It's so confusing. I tried to sew last year. It didn't go well. I mean, I think I can say off and on forever and ever and ever, because that's just, that's what you do when you're broke, folks. Something gets a hole in it and you find a way to fix it. You don't throw it away. So there's that. I've been running the shop for 7 years now. I believe I'm just about to start year 8. But don't forget, like I just had, hey, Blue, don't forget, you just watched me live on camera. And trust me when I say I'm not trying to sell anything in my shop. Okay, I've got stuff for sale in the shop, but I'm not doing these videos to promote the shop. I'm just chilling and chatting and relaxing with life, right? And you just saw me in real time have to change how I was going to do something because I forgot how to do it the other way because it's been so long, right? Anyway. But yeah, no, I've been doing the shop for 8 years now. Oops, just a second. There's a piece of thread where it shouldn't be. Gotta get rid of it. Yeah, you go there. Yeah, so I've been sewing for about 7 years. Well, I'll tell you right now, I've just started doing quilting in the last 3 years. 3 years, I think. And I can't do clothes to save my life. If I found myself destitute and needing to make my own clothes, I would be going naked. So I always tell people that when somebody says, "Oh, I tried sewing and it doesn't work," it's like I was like, "I'm going to lecture you now." But yeah, I haven't done a back to Blue. I haven't been on in the last couple of weeks. So did something to my neck, pissing me off to no fucking end. I'm fine. I'm fine. You guys have heard me sneeze. Most of you by now. Blatchoo. And every now and again, I bugger my neck from sneezing too hard. I buggered my neck a little bit. Everything's fine, but I feel like I have like I see. Oh, yeah. The fuck 'em. That's my favorite. That is my favorite. Every now and again, I sneeze so hard that I kind of throw my neck out a little bit. I don't know how to describe it. That's kind of what I fucked up my shoulder last year, and that was fine. And then a few weeks ago, hence the Diablo story, I I think I just sneezed too hard or something. But I've got this last little thing in my neck and it's pissing me off. I'm fine. I really am fine. I'm not in pain. I'm not. You ever get that weird sensation like, your finger needs to crack or something like that? Do I plan on do I plan on embroidering again? Embroidering? No. The embroidering was a lot of fun while it lasted. It really was. And I really didn't want to give it up. But there's a whole big story there. But I'm going to go on. I'm going to babble about my neck for just another minute. Anyway, I want to reassure you guys, I am fine. But the area, if you ever have that sensation like your finger needs to crack, it's like, oh, my finger needs to crack. I need to crack my finger. I need to crack. But that's what I've had going on in my neck. So it's like I'm uncomfortable and it shows. So I'm just going to stay off camera for a few days. Well, a couple weeks, right? Anyway, the embroidery, I had a blast doing the embroidery. I think I had embroidery in the shop for like a couple of years, easy. There's two things happen with the embroidery. For starters, I was using a regular sewing machine that has a thing you attach and then you do your embroidery, right? So that was all fine and dandy and life was good, right? And I found a bunch of designs that worked really well for the type of machine and the type of whatever, and everything was great. As a matter of fact, everything was so great. That looks like it shifted. Either I shifted while I was cutting it or it shifted. Oh, it shifted. Anyway, things were going so great. And one of the things about embroidering is that you really kind of have to babysit it. I was spending more time embroidering than I was making anything. So I just started running out of time. The time started to become a bit of an issue, right? What's going on here? That's going on. So I got I don't want to say overwhelming in a bad way, but I got so busy with the embroidering that the shop itself started to suffer because it's like, oh, I'm working on 3 embroidery projects and they're taking up an entire day that I could have used to make a dozen other projects. And I did not want to I'm not going to raise my prices to insane levels to offset that because that's not fair to anybody. So that was going on. And then I kind of knew it, but I kind of knew it, but I kind of didn't. The machines that have the attachment that you basically take this off, put your attachment on, connect it to your computer. That's not a problem at all. But eventually they start to just not work as well because the parts start to wear, right? My only option, I tried doing a thing where I was like letting it embroider out and then use one of I had other machine by then, where I would try to have the embroidery running and then working on the machine. But then I was just working too damn hard and I wasn't liking it then. Anyway, my only other option. So then the machine starts getting more and more finicky. The parts are getting loose and embroidery is precision. So it's like, shit, it's time. If I want to keep embroidering, I need to replace the machine. And come on, what did you do? What did you do? Oh, you did the last. Every now and again, this machine has a little bit of a finicky thing where every now and again, after I take everything off the machine, it stitches 1 or 2 more stitches, which it just did when I was trying to get to the end here. Anyway. There, so now I have a brand new coaster. I've just made myself a new coaster out of garbage. Not garbage, out of stuff I don't know what to do with. Anyway, so then COVID happened. So this does move. Like if you really want to, you can get in here and start lifting this shit up, get your finger under there and do whatever. You really can. But it's all sewed down very well from the edges, so nothing's going to move. And batik doesn't really shrink a lot when you wash it. So this will be nice and also is shifted around a little bit now because I've been needing a new coaster for a bit now. So I just did that. So anyway, if I want to get, I was just going to say my glove got really dirty, but I had to switch back. So if I want to get back into embroidering, I will need to go get a machine that does embroidering. And then I have to consider how much embroidering, it's just too much. How much embroidering am I willing to do? How much does it make sense to do? And how long will the machine last before the guaranteed breakdown? And if I want to invest in an embroidery only machine, they are hideously expensive. Like a six needle machine. So it's got 6 of these guys on it arranged, right? So it's 6 colors at once. They start at like $10,000. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's the long answer because that's what I do. Now I got to make sure that gets in the wash. I'll just toss it over. I'll just toss it in a better bit. No, okay, you're fine. It's fine. So that's kind of like the long answer, because if I was in a position where it made sense to go buy the machine and do the thing, I'd probably be totally like on board with continuing to do embroidery. It's just that it's really expensive to do it right. I can't say to do it right. I was doing it right, but because of the machine I was using a machine that I could afford, which meant that I could only do so much. That's the long way around. But if for some reason an embroidery machine finds its way back into my life in a easy, convenient, affordable way, then I probably would. But way too many check boxes have to be ticked off to make it make sense. Why is that camera? That camera's been dark all day, and there's another one right there. That's seriously, that's been the problem this whole time. I wonder if it's too much light coming from the computer screen, because as soon as I went like that and got some of the computer screen blocked, no, it doesn't. It just doesn't love me. Anyway, have you tried acupuncture? I was a real skeptic. At a last homeopathic natural effort, I had my 12-year-old try it. She said she finally knows what spring smells like. I haven't thought about acupuncture. I've been to chiropractic before. I've done chiropractic, which I like. The problem for me, I don't know if I want to call it a problem or not. The thing for me is that it basically, I've got the beginnings of osteoarthritis happening in my neck to begin with. I'm actually doing, like I said, I'm doing really well. I've gone to chiropractic, but with my knee being off, now my hips are off, now my lower back is off, now my upper back is off, now my neck is off. So, and my knee is basically like a deformity, developmental, because of the way my kneecaps go off to the sides and yada yada yada. So I'm gonna switch this to yellow because maybe it'll look like gold. So anything that I try, and this is something my chiropractor confirmed after doing a full skeletal X-ray, anything I try, anything that I can do is only going to be temporary relief at best. So it's like, as long as it's merely annoying and not fully debilitating, I might as well just not. This has been going away. It's just taking its time. I take some Advil. Okay, all I need is Advil for the discomfort. So my logic in life is that if a little bit of Advil is enough to make me feel significantly better, then it's probably not worth agonizing over. And I know. It's like, all pain is valid pain, yada yada yada. But it's like, I've been dealing with chronic pain my whole life. So I know, I'm just gonna do these. I'm gonna stick with this on the bigger one. I think I'm gonna slow down. I think I'm gonna start trying to slow down. And I think I've got an idea. I know a trick. I know a really cool trick. And as long as I can get that really cool trick to work properly, there it is. As long as I can get this really cool trick to work properly, then I can just go. Let's get this stitch out. Okay, the problem that I'm having with this is that when it flips, when I try to flip it over, I don't necessarily see much of what's going on in the back. So I'm having a line. I'm not having an issue with the sewing. I'm having an issue with the alignment, right? But here's the thing. Okay, so what I have to do, hey, Gail. So what I'm supposed to be doing, for this technique to work is to line these up this way, sew them together, and then do the flip, right? But I just flipped it over because I'd already sewn there. That's the skill I'm trying to learn, right? Oh, okay. See you next time, Trisha. I am bad for shortening people's names, and it's funny because nobody shortens my name. Okay. So what I can do, I know I've got, do I have one? Let's see what I've got here. Let's see what I've got for footies. Why, yes, I do. I've got this foot. That's a 1/4 inch. Okay, that'll be fine. It's a little narrower. What's that? Ooh, that should be it. That should be the one. That should be the one. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. I think this is the thing. Sometimes because Peggy is better than Peg. Yeah. Well, also, you know what, though, is like forever and ever, forever and ever. And, oh, that's my extra. Forever and basically Margaret, Peggy is short for Margaret. And my whole life, everybody who didn't know me, teachers and whatnot, what's your name? What's your name? Oh, my name's Peggy. No, your name's Margaret, honey. Go check with your mom. Hey, Mom, is my name still Peggy? Yep. Well, can you call the teacher and tell her that it's not Margaret? Is that going to be? That should be it. Okay. So I need to sew these two together basically like that. I need to sew these two together basically like that, right? They can be overlapped a little bit, but they have to be sewn together like this so that when I do that fold I was doing, right? So that when I fold them over that way, that they're going to fold over and leave. They're going to fold over evenly and not show through on the other side. So we're going to try this. I wonder if I should shorten. I wonder if I should grab a shorter piece. Okay, we're going to just. Oh, no, that's not a bad piece. This is a bad piece. I don't know what piece this is. Okay, we're just going to take a piece that I've already got. I'm going to cut it in half. If I can find my shit. Now, and if I ever, I've got the world's worst memory. If I ever shorten your name or do something to your name that you don't like, don't be afraid to say, oh, no, that's not how I do it. And I will be okay, and I will try my best to never do it again. My memory sucks. I've got a decent memory. My memory sucks for names. Okay, so what I've been trying to do, what I've been working on is doing this like this, overlapping them slightly and sewing down here while keeping it straight, right? But what I do consistently is sew like that. And I can get a pretty consistent seam. I can get a pretty consistent seam. Yeah. So I don't care. I don't care if people call me Peggy or Peg or anything like that, but it's kind of interesting that nobody does. But yet nobody calls me Peggy or Peg, and that's fine. But yet for some reason when I'm talking to other people, I have a really bad tendency to shorten their names. So this foot should let me zigzag. This should be this foot has a spot here for me to line up on. And let's see. Well, if I lose a needle, I lose a needle. I'm not 100% sure which foot this is though, so we'll see. And that, because this is not the stitch that's the problem, it's lining it up. Come on. Oh, it needs to be bigger. because doing this is super easy for me because I've been doing it so much. I got shit tons of practice doing this. Is that going right? That is so. Well, why is it doing that? Okay, please cross your fingers and hope that I've done this right. Okay, I know I didn't do it right at the very beginning. Okay. Okay, let's see. So I've done a very narrow stitch at the side. There's got to be a better stitch for me to use. So if I go like that and give it a light tug, it just lines up beautifully. And then I can go that one. It's still not lined up as well as I would like, but it opens itself up. I bet you there's a better stitch I can use for it though. 26. That's 12. I don't want that. I can look it up. So now I go, yeah, this is still giving me a bit of a crease in here, which I don't care about. I just need to go up and over and back like that. Let's see what happens. Oh, so I got to switch the feet back though. So with this, I would do a bunch. Switch my feet back. That's fine. Switching feet is super simple. It's looking awkward because I don't want to put down what I'm holding. You just got to fold it over enough to cover that up. Go back to a straight stitch. See what we got going on behind. Yeah, this looks good. I think I fixed it. I think I did it. I think I cracked this one. I think I cracked this case. And if I've done it right, please pray for me. Draw a card, light a candle, do whatever. Okay, that one's done. Now it's a little fast, so it's fuck! I fucked it up on this side though. I didn't fold it over enough. I did not do enough of a fold over. Okay, let's try one more time. Try one more time. Okay, do that side to that side. I think I got it right. Now I just got to get the next step right. I gave it too much of a fold over. This is this foot. This is this foot, and I think it's gonna. I hope it's going to let me do that piece. Okay, so I got this piece. I got this side on properly. See, there's the stitching right there in yellow. I got this side on properly, but I didn't give it enough of a fold over, so now I can't get up. Now I can't get up and over that side without refolding it again. So I'm trying to avoid the refold. I am working on, by the way, Gail, is I'm working on turning batik into a single layer, basically quilt style, textured, right? Because of the seams, textured quilt style, because batik, like look at this piece here. No front, no back. Because sometimes you want to cover up. Sometimes you want to cover up and snuggle in something, but it's hot, it's summer, it's whatever, and you don't want to fuck around. You don't want a big heavy blanket, but you also just want to snuggle with something. So I'm working on a technique that I discovered. I'm working on a technique that I discovered where you put one in front of the other like that, just a bit, sew them, and then when you get down, you sew them together, and then you just fold them over like that to cover up the seam in the front and the back, and then finish it. There's another way that I can do this. There's another way that I can do this, and that's the way this is the way that I already know. You just sew the two pieces together, and then just do the exact French seam all the way down, right? And then just keep going. That's the process I know. I'm basically trying to see if I can teach myself something new today. I'm also just hanging out and not trying too hard because I haven't been on in a while. I'm gonna miss you guys. Okay, so this goes back to, I think it's 18 that I need. That might be it. Are we going all the way? We're going all the way in without hitting anything, but I think I can go a little. Oh, I can't do that narrower. My problem is I'm so used to doing a certain type. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool, but I've got to kind of, I've never done this before. So it's like, I need to FAFO with a pile of fabric and see how it goes. If this technique works, then it's a much more, okay. This technique. No, I haven't, it's been a couple weeks. We got busy with a little bit of stuff, nothing serious, just little bits of here and there. Shayla had a UTI, so that didn't help. I couldn't go live all last week because Shayla had a UTI, because I had to be available to take her out like every hour on the hour so she wouldn't have an accident. Then I creaked my neck a little bit. So yeah, so this one here is just basic French seam, but then I've got a top and a bottom, and I have to decide which is which. And I don't want to, and I don't want to take the risk of them going back and forth. This one is the exact same on the front. This is the one that I fucked up. This one here is the exact same on the front as the back, so it doesn't matter which direction I do things in. So I'm FAFOing to see if I can sort this one out. But what I'm trying right now, right this minute, and let's see what happens. I think that stitch, I think that's still the wrong stitch. That's a stretchy stitch. I need one of those stitches that let's just do it and see what happens. I need to pick which stitch lets me go through, and then when I open it up, it basically opens it flat. Oh, that first bit, that caught funny. What happened? Oh, that was weird. That's not the right stitch. That certainly isn't it. I'm just going to take that corner right off, because now we've gotten to the point where this is not a piece of fabric I can salvage. I cannot salvage this for other projects. I might as well just relax. That's not the one I want. Okay. That's not it. I guess that's just a regular standard zigzag. This one could be it. This one? You haven't heard of this one? Or this one? The black and blue, where they're the same on both sides, or the or basically the French seam. Okay, where is it? Okay, so this one here, I'm just giving it a pull. Yeah, that's okay. I think I just wasn't okay. So this one here, I'm just zigzagging the two pieces together. Okay. Yeah, the black and blue. Basically, what somebody did was they did this. They took the two pieces and they slightly overlapped them. Then they just sewed the two pieces together with a straight stitch, and then put these. And then, okay, so here's my piece right here with the stitching that I just did. Okay, I just did one, but I didn't give it. I just did one here, but I didn't fold it over enough. So I'm hoping that if I fold it over a little bit more, so you do that, right? So you zigzag, you do something to connect them together with a very narrow, this is just basically a basting, right? And then you take this side and fold it over, right? Because on this side, okay, so you take this side and you fold it over. And then this side, yeah, it's not quite folded over enough. Let's see. Or maybe, oh wait. Yeah, you gotta fold it over enough so that that center stitch disappears. Let's see if I got it this time. Yeah, it looks like I got it this time. So basically, you connect them together very, very carefully, as close to the edges as you can get. And then you, oh, that's why you go like that. You make a seam, fold it over, because as you're folding over the top seam, you're pushing under. As I'm folding over the blue to cover this, I'm pushing under the black to do the same thing on the back. Let's see. I've already let it shift. Because if this works, I already let it shift, so I'm just going to do it again. So fold this forward to cover the top seam, while at the same time I'm pushing it under at the back, cover over the bottom seam. And I don't think I'm going to worry about how wide it is, because I need to succeed more than I need to. Ugh. And then switch my feet back. I just have that this foot. I can probably do the same on either foot, but that foot has got the guide in it to line it all up. And then we just do the top seam. Now that we've got it folded over, did I do it right? I think I got it this time. Okay. Nope, I do that. Do that. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think I tweaked it in a way that's going to work for me. That's something else about sewing, is like just because I saw this on like on a YouTube short. Okay. Yeah, so here's what I got. There's the yellow one. So oh look, I can't open it up too much, but so there's the yellow one. So I've done the fold over. I did the fold over correctly this time. I just didn't trim my stuff. I was just lazy about it. And there you go. So the seams are not visible. See, the seams are visible there. The seams are visible here. So this actually needs to come up and over a little bit more. Then I would have to also come back and redo the front. And so if you don't get it right the first time, you don't get a chance to do it again, is the problem. That worked. Okay, let's do this. I've got one more chance. Let's go down this one. Okay. Now that I've got one to work, let's see if I can. Okay, because like I said, yeah, well, this is what I've been struggling with all day. I showed up around 2, right? What I've been struggling with is like look, which one is it? Is it this one? Like look at this blue one. You can't really tell, but it's it went off the rails a little bit. They're not. I got one over there. I finished a piece just for the sake of finishing it, because I still have to wash it and see what I think of the texture. If I'm going to have small pieces, I need the texture. But yeah, it was really getting a neat seam was fine, but getting these to be the same size was not. I definitely need to be more consistent. But what they showed was put these together, go over them a little bit, and I was having trouble keeping that lined up straight. It was like going like that. Like a couple of them that I did were really obviously off centered. So I really need. I think I need. Actually, you know what? I don't. Let's see what happens if I don't change feet this time. Now that I know what I'm doing, I might not need to change feet. because I'm really good at lining this stuff up and getting a seam. So 5 inches should do it. Okay, actually I might get it better if I can like tweak how that looks too. Okay, so right down the, so 5 inch, a 5-inch zigzag. Nope. Four-inch zigzag, and this is just essentially a basting stitch at this point. Yeah, this might be more what I want. Okay, got that. Pull it out, give it a tug. It's okay. I don't mind if it's got texture in the middle. I was hoping there's a stitch that you do, and then when you give it a little tug, everything just goes foop and lays properly side by side. I don't care if there's a bit of a seam, so I'll live with that for now until I figure out what that other one is. I'm gonna get back over there. I'm gonna get back over here. So one goes under, one goes over. Try to keep them. You got to make sure one goes under and one goes over, but that has to be down the center. So I'm gonna go boop, boop. I can feel it, and it's not good enough. Okay. That's got a 1/4 inch. There we go. If I turn it sideways, I got a much better hand-eye coordination on it. Straight stitch. No, this one's going to be just barely. I found a really good one, but it's all about ironing, and I get too hot back here as it is. Aha! Got it. It could still be a little this way, the front and the back feel the same. The front and the back feels the same, which means that if I make an entire sheet, if I make an entire blanket size piece, I keep calling it a sheet because that's probably what it's going to feel. Batik doesn't feel like sheeting. It doesn't feel entirely like sheeting when it's been washed, but it doesn't feel entirely like cotton, like quilting cotton either. So now if I do this technique, it's sewn together 3 times, so I'll have really, really, really strong seams. See, this here has the one seam down the center where they're sewn together, right? This is just to bury the edge to keep it from fraying. So it's only actually sewn together with one stitch. This is sewn together 3 times, which should make it really sturdy. But yeah, I gotta be okay. What happened there? Was that one of the other ones I was working with? Yes, it is. I've just got to be really careful. I've got to be really careful about. I've got to make sure that these pieces are wide enough so that I can do the zigzag and do like a. That's a quarter. Oh, I got this up high here. That's going to be more than a 1/4 inch that gets sewn down. But yeah, if I sew that down, that's just going to be weird. Let's try it. Let's do it and see what happens. Because that's the one that didn't fold properly. But if I do that, will it show? Is it something I can fix? No. See, if I do that, then this one, you can't really, if you don't fold that down properly the first time, you can't really fix it. I can pick it all out and try again, but I can't fix it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do this. You can't see it, but I've got like over 100 strips, 2.5-inch strips, jelly roll strips. over here that I cut from some batik. All my leftover pieces. Now what I can also do to make life easier is I've also got fat quarters. I do not have to work with pieces that are this small. I already made a test piece. I made a test piece earlier and I hemmed it. So it's going to go in the wash because once this is hemmed, if this, because it feels kind of, I want it to have texture, but I need to wash it to decide if I like the texture that I'm getting from the smaller pieces. If I don't like the texture that I'm getting from these smaller pieces, then I'm still going to do this. I'm still doing this no matter what. If I like the texture that I'm getting from the smaller pieces, I'm going to take enough of this to put it aside and make a comforter size, a quilt sized piece as a summer single layer quilt. If I do not like how it feels, if I do not like how it feels, then this as reinforcing will make some really good light but heavy duty tote bags. So I've got a use for it. Yeah, I actually really like this idea to join different prints but make it a reversible piece. Yeah, well, this is what I realized. I forget just I was saying something to somebody, and I'm pretty sure I was saying it on channel with you guys. I was saying something to somebody about when I was talking about the tote bags that I'm making, the grocery style ones. It's like the beauty. Oh, because I was talking about how sewing with it makes it. You got to really pay attention. Okay, I'm sewing with this stuff, and I have to pay attention to what's my inside and what's my outside because it doesn't have an obvious thing to look at like this does. This has an obvious. Oh, this is the. Sew the pretty sides together. Do this, do that. That's the back. It's really obvious. You can tell the difference. This has no back. I was like, well, wait a second. And I had recently come across the idea of people making quilts that just the top and just the backing and nothing else. And I'm like, oh, too bad they can't make one just the top, kind of like a textured sheet. And boom, here we are. So anyway, yeah, batik is working. The batik is working really well for that. And as long as bigger pieces will be fine with texture. If the smaller pieces, if that's too much texture or doesn't feel right, then I will stick with bigger pieces. But yeah, but this is just two pieces that have been sewn together. So that is actually its weak spot. Whereas that is its strong spot because it's been sewn once to hook it together and then flipping it. Another thing that I tried was taking a piece, folding it and ironing it, right? And then taking the next piece, folding it and ironing it. And then it's like hooking them together and then going down. So I can do that too, but I really don't want to do the ironing. I turned on the iron for like 10 minutes to try it. And I was like, I'm dying. I don't like it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this piece. I can also just take this apart. So I don't have to throw it away if I don't want to, but I don't know how much work I want to do. Which one's that? Yeah, this is one of the first ones I did. What did I do? Oh, this is the one I ironed into place, and it was just really hard to line it up. Anyway, I'm going to do some, what time is it now? It's like, yeah, Lisa's on her way home. Yeah, I'm making stuff. I want to get some of this batik used up. These are all ends. I think I had very little of this material. So I cut it up. I had enough to make 3 or 4 of these strips, and that was about it. I guess 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strips. I had enough for exactly 5 strips of this. So I decided not to do anything else with it. It's too bad too, because of yeah. Oh yeah. I've been over there ironing. I've been over there ironing in just my briefs. It basically, there's no window back here. This whole section back here, because we're in a condo, right? So this whole section back here, no windows, and So unless I've got a fan sitting over by the window blowing back onto me, I'm not getting any relief, any comfort. I have done. If I have a lot of ironing to do, I'll be like, just underwear and a tank and just sometimes even topless. And it's like, if anybody knocks on the door, don't answer it. It's like yeah. Oh, there's my puppy making noise. Anyway. I also did I also made myself a quick little cup holder. A quick little fabric coaster. Yeah, well, yeah, the ironing one, basically, like, I ironed it in, and that's fine. I ironed it in, but then when I had to connect them together, it was not straight. It was, I think, okay, as a first project, doing one for at home, obviously it's going to be not a problem. We're not gonna care if the seams are perfect or anything about that. And I'm definitely making one, because that's something else too. This is where I get really, really, really lucky, because I have a stash. I've got enough here. I've got it just with what I've got cut up here and what I've got in the back. I can make 3, 4, 5 of these until I get it right. That's always a scary thing about sewing is a very expensive hobby, and it's always real. I do think the price is why people, I don't want to say intimidated, but the price is intimidating. It's like, it's going to cost me how much? Yeah, here's another one. Here's a bigger one that I did. And that one did really well. Oh no, this is the one is this the one yeah, this is the one I ironed. I'm sorry. This is the one I ironed. And it was pretty good. This one did pretty well. No, it didn't, because there's a center seam right there. This is one of the first ones I did. My God, I don't even keep track of what I'm doing. This one was fine. And so I hook it to that one. I hook it to that one. I don't try too hard. I wait till I get a big enough piece. I cut it out, and then I set it aside, and I hook it to another one. So basically, it's like making the flimsy, the top, and just finishing it so that you can walk away. And I'm sure that there's a lot of different, because like if I were to cut this at angles and then redo it, I'm sure there's a lot of actual piecing styles that you could do that would work really well with this. It's going to be more limited, but yeah, this is not the one I ironed because it has the center seam in it. So this is the one I ironed. I mean, I'll still, yeah, I got one part of it. Yeah, this is the one I ironed. No, this is a different one. Anyway, I have improved I have not improved on sorting my shit out, but I have improved as the day has commenced. So that part's fine. And I can still do something with this piece because the top of it is sewed up just fine. Or like I said, I can take it apart if that's what I want to do, but I'm not sure that I will. I've got so much extra fabric. Anyway, I probably have to go. I probably have to get going. Lisa's going to be home any minute now. Oh, shit. Yeah, I got to go, guys. Today is bath day for the dogs. Now that Shayla was already, okay, Shayla got a UTI, which is absolutely fine. And she didn't have any accidents where she was waking up in a puddle or anything like that. So that's good news. But she was having accidents where we would get her, because we're in a condo, we would get as far as the elevator and she just couldn't wait anymore. But she was overdue with the bath, and obviously she's got an infection. So it's like, I always want to over-explain everything. So she's perfectly fine. But it's like she was already overdue for a bath last week. And then she got this infection, and it's like, well, it's miserable, cold and rainy outside. Like, it's bad. It's really cold and rainy outside, so it's like, okay, well, she's got a UTI. She's got a UTI, so we can't give her a bath. As soon as she's out of the tub, she wants outside. This one here is fine. That's got to go there. That's one I can still use. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be not perfect. Why is this one only half done? What problem did I have? Oh, that's why. There's the problem. Because I didn't fold this one in far enough, so you can see where the center seam is. That's when I was trying to overlap them. Sew first and then do the fold. Oh, you know what? I've only ever had exactly one UTI. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and the pain mimicked labor pains. Oh my God. So we're like, okay, well, we don't know what the hell's going on because I've never had a UTI before and didn't know that they could present like that. Go to the doctor, say, okay, well, we're here. I'm 6 months pregnant and this is what my pain, and I'm 6 months pregnant and I'm having pains that are coming because it was rhythmically. I'm having these strange pains that are coming 5 minutes apart. They're like, what? And I said, yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Run me upstairs before I could fucking blink. Hook me up to every monitor that they could find. Gave me and they don't give you antibiotics for UTIs. At least they don't give you antibiotics unless it's a life or death emergency. At least back then, so they gave me what's called a stop dose. So that worked out really well. But yeah, that's my first and only UTI experience. Was 6 months pregnant, and we weren't sure if I was in labor or not. So that was fun. Yeah, we can't rest with a sick dog. My dog was sick for a week or more, sent into emergency care when his vet was not available, didn't sleep for a week. Well, what we've been doing is walking her a lot. Like I said, all last week. It's like, oh my God, I haven't done, because I don't think I did a video last. I didn't do any filming last week. And I don't think, I'm not sure, I can't remember if I did one the week before. And it's like, well, the instant she indicates that she has to go pee, we're on the third floor. We have to get to the elevator, and I'm disabled, right? So we got to get to the elevator. We got to get her to the elevator downstairs, outside, so that she can pee. And we've got to do it before she decides she can't wait. And we can't. You don't yell at a dog for peeing on the carpet. She wasn't having accidents in the house, but as soon as we got her out of the house, I don't know what there's actually a name for it. I think it's called the letdown reflex, but it's like, oh, cool, I'm finally on the way to the bathroom. So then they relax. And yeah, so she was having had 2 or 3 accidents in the hallway, which we cleaned up. But yeah, made him sleep next to me so I could feed him, feel him breathe. Wow. No, we did get lucky with her because she will use a puppy pad if she has to. But she will use a puppy pad at night, but she will not use one during the day. So we got really lucky because we figured we happened to have test strips. Where is that coming from? We happen to have UTI test strips because with a diabetic dog, if you have a dog with diabetes, you should really keep UTI test strips on hand. So we had them on hand for him. So after the first accident, it's like, well, at the very least, we need to check her for a UTI. So we got her treated almost immediately, which was nice. But yeah, today is bath time. Yeah, she's not likely to pee in our arms if we're carrying her, which we did do. We did do that too. But when you're by yourself with 2 dogs, when you're by yourself taking 2 dogs out, that kind of changes things up a little bit. So it wasn't as problematic as I'm making it sound, because we got her we got really lucky to know exactly what was going on very quickly. We didn't have to guess, oh my God, is she having a stroke? And honestly, at her age, that is what you start thinking. She's having a bad day and we're like, oh my God, because she's 13 now. She's 13 and she's turning 14 very, very soon. So I'm just kind of lining some of these up so that they're a little bit less organized. So I can just start. I'm going to sew one. Then I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start it tonight. Oh no, I can't. I got to do a test. I got to test it first. No, you know what? I can do 20-inch. I can do big enough pieces. Yeah, good thing it's cute. Yeah, no, they're both cute dogs. So yeah, so Bruno's fine. Bruno's completely fine. We were kind of concerned about him ish. It's like, well, he is a diabetic dog, so if this happened because she's picked up a cold or something, he could be showing up with it next. So there was some concern. We were a little bit concerned. It's not like we just walked around going, yeah, fuck Bruno. We know we love you. I'm saying their names, and he's over here going, I'm here. I'm here. Why are you not worshiping me? Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, the punchline is that I'm supposed to be saying goodbye because Lisa's coming in and we're giving them a bath immediately because they were already overdue. And it's like, well, I don't want to give her a bath while she's sick before the antibiotics have even had a chance to take root. Because the last thing you want is like, okay, well, she wasn't feeling well, gave her a bath, took her out in this miserable, cold, rainy weather out here. It's been crazy. Well, I have this one. I have this fabric. Anyway, I'm gonna make pieces that are big enough to make tote bags out of. Yeah, I had to leave for almost 2 hours for a class and got back after all, and you're still here. Amazeballs. Yeah, I know. I haven't been on in a while. I missed everybody. I missed all you guys. Anyway, I'm gonna start working on these tonight for practice. Maybe I'll pair them first and then go from there. Like do two, then do two. Instead of going 2, then add, go 2, 2, 2. Because even if I don't like how they turn out in the wash, like if these being too narrow ends up creating a texture I don't like, then I'm still going to turn these into tote bags. Because the stitching style that I'm using is going to make them heavy duty. Okay, so that's the plan. That's the sewing plan, to make a couple of heavy duty bags and see what we think of them. Anyway, I'm supposed to be saying goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye. Lisa's going to be here any minute now. So I'm going to let you guys go to enjoy the rest of your great, amazing, wonderful day. She's over there. I didn't realize 2 hours had gone by. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, because I just babble and it's like, yeah, just check out. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to get going, guys. You guys have a great day, a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, what am I doing? Not yet. Okay, what's going on? I'm trying to leave. I really am. Oh, there we go. There was a few background changes on StreamYard, and it was going to do this weird thing to you guys. So I'm leaving now. Yeah, she's doing really well. She's been on the medication for a week now. She is back. I forgot that part because I'm dumb. She's fine. She's back to normal now, which is what we were waiting for. And now we can get her caught up on her bath and get things back to normal for them and yada 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 yada. So because this happened last Monday, so that tied up my week last week. So we're back. That's why I can be on today, because she's back to normal today. Anyway, I am leaving this time, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.